G'day guys, I'm here in my cold garage this morning to compare the weights between my WR250R and my Husqvarna 501. Now for those of you that don't follow me on Instagram, yeah, this is my new 501. I bought another bike and hopefully this will replace my WR250R. And the whole point of this video series is to compare these two bikes on multiple levels to actually see if it's worth upgrading your WR250R. In my opinion, these are probably the two best dual sport bikes you can buy. Worthy mention is probably the DRZ400, but these two are, in my opinion, the best bang for buck dual sport bikes you can buy. But I think there's a lot of people who own the WR that always think about upgrading to the 501. So in this video series, I'm going to figure out if I've done the right thing in buying the 501 or if I should just keep the WR250R. One thing before I put them on the scales, and I will get to that really quickly, I just want to talk to you about the differences because these obviously aren't stock bikes, but they're both adventurized. Now they're both running oversized tanks, the WR having the 18-litre IMS, and this 501, I believe it's a 17-litre. Now they're both full, so there's no differences there. However, the WR is running the FMF Power Core 4, which obviously will save the WR a few kilograms. It's also running an aluminium force bash plate. Whereas the Husky 501, this still has its standard exhaust and is running its standard plastic bash plate. So really those are the only things that might put the weight off a little bit, but really it's not going to be that much of a difference. They both have bark busters, they both have mirrors, they're stock headlight units. There's nothing else different. So hopefully this will be a really good comparison of the actual true weight difference between the 501 and the WR250R. Not what they write in the books and magazines and on their websites, because we know usually that's a whole load of shit. Alright guys, the results are in. I've got them written down here. Now before we get into it, I think this bike to me feels about 20 kilograms lighter than the WR250R. Moving it around the garage, riding it, it just feels that much more nimble. And I'm pretty interested in what you guys think. So get that number in your mind now and I will read you the results. So, coming in dry, the WR is 126 kilograms and the 501 is 111. So that is a 15 kilogram difference dry. But what about wet? That's the number we want, right? Wet, fully fueled up, ready to adventure. The WR250R comes in at 142.8 kilograms. The FE501 comes in at 131.1. So that is 11.7 kilogram difference. Now, like I said, I thought it felt more like a 20 kilogram difference, but I suppose 11.7 isn't that bad. When you consider that this bike is how light it is, 10 kilogram difference, that's actually quite a lot. But I think really what it comes down to is this exhaust. The WR stock exhaust is like a solid piece of cast iron. It weighs a lot. So I really think that this exhaust is probably making at least a 3 kilogram difference to this bike. So if we had to have the stock exhaust on side to side, I think the weight difference between these two bikes would be more around the 15 kilogram difference. And now that number makes sense to me. Having ridden this and this back to back, a 15 kilogram difference I can trust and I'll believe. That makes it seem a little bit more accurate. But as they are right now, only 11.7 kilograms. So I'm pretty shocked. I really thought this was going to weigh a lot less, but I'm telling you guys, this bike feels like it weighs a lot less. It is so nimble and just so, yeah, just a huge sense of lightweight and nimbleness that comes from this bike compared to that bike. But perhaps I'll get more into that when I review it off-road and on-road.